How is it going, everybody? Welcome back to another Prehistoric Kingdom video. Update 12 is here, and I am incredibly excited. With it, we have gotten 3 brand new species, as well as a whole bunch of new decorations, new type of buildings, and things like that. It's incredibly awesome. So first, we'll go ahead and take a look at some of the new buildings, like the new rustic theme and some of the decorations, and then we'll look at the creatures, which is, of course, what I'm most excited for. So, there is this new rustic theme right here, which I think looks absolutely beautiful. I love it. I think it looks great. Given the place in which I live, a lot of there's depending on where you go, you'll see a lot of structures that look like this, which I think is really awesome. Even like something like the bathrooms and the kiosks, I think just look fantastic, including the entrance over here. It's just everything looks phenomenal in that way, including this new type of rustic style fencing that they have going on that I quite like. I think that everything looks really good. But of course, there are these brand new decorations. These are like some logs that, of course, have been carved to look like prehistoric animals. Like this one looks to be Edmontosaurus. It looks beautiful. This one might be Velociraptor, I think, question mark. I mean, I'm assuming it's only creatures that are in the game. Well, mostly creatures that are in the game. So I assume that's what that is. This one's my favorite because Spinosaurus. Look at that. Isn't that just the coolest thing ever? I want this at my house in real life. Little Spinosaurus just kind of hugging a giant fish right here. That's amazing. I love it. I love rustic themed stuff. This might also be Velociraptor. Judging from the tail, I assume it is. Very cool. Here we have a bear, might be a cave bear. I know that they have teased something like that, an extinct species of bear that should be coming to the game eventually. Don't know when, but eventually it will be. And of course, the fighting dinosaurs, the dueling dinosaurs right here, Velociraptor versus Protoceratops. Amazing work on these. Amazing work was done on all of these. I absolutely love the way that they look. Oh, and the elephant in the room. Of course, they added a brand new map. It's like the Redwoods. It's like the USA of California themed. California of the USA. And it looks beautiful. It's got like different elevation and things like that. You start up on top of the hill over here and it goes down until you reach, down here to the sea level. And it looks amazing. This is probably my favorite map, and I'll probably be building a park on this because I love the way that it looks. So, with that, we'll go ahead and take a look at some of the amazing new creatures that have been added to the game as well. Now, here's the first one, ANKYLOSAURUS. I am so happy for this. I love ANKYLOSAURUS. And it looks beautiful. Look at this model. Looks fantastic. The style of the osteoderms, the whole shape of the animal looks really good. The skull looks great. It looks fantastic. You get this kind of like marsh coloration. This one that's a little bit more brown. Of course, we get the male and female variation too. And look at the female version here. I don't see too much difference, but then this kind of like mustard yellow with some black variation right here. They look fantastic. I love the way that these guys look. So we'll go ahead and place down one of each color, of course. We'll take a look at them walking around and, all that good stuff. I just kind of like threw a little bit of an enclosure together for everybody in this game. I wanted to like showcase the redwoods and everything like that, so here they are. Look at them. Oh, they look fantastic, man. Hats off to the developers as usual. Look how good that looks. I want to hear some of its noises. Did you see that tongue? Oh, they're so good. Oh, it's so good, man. This game just keeps getting better and better. Let's hear what Nigel has to say.
Ankylosaurs are built like tanks, and none of them more so than the mighty Ankylosaurus. Paleontologists have made a persuasive argument that ankylosaurs, like Ankylosaurus, use their tail clubs to fight each other, not just their predators. We'd better keep an eye on their paddock to make sure they don't pick any fights.
That's true. For some ankylosaur specimens, there have been found like damaged osteoderms, like on their shoulders that indicate they kind of like whack each other with those massive clubs that they have right here. So, as well as defending themselves against predators, they could have been using them for interspecific combat, for rivals and stuff like that. And look at them swim. Kind of reminds me of hippos. I love it. You know, it's just the depth of the water, but it kind of looks like he's running on the bottom of the water like hippos do. I did a bad job at removing all this vegetation, but it's fine. It's fine. I love these guys, though. Look at them. They are going to be fantastic additions to my park. I love them. Look at this dude. Ah, that is so cool. Okay, well, I might return to them later, but there are, of course, more dinosaurs to check out that have been released. Two sauropods. We have a Apatosaurus here. Look at that, a Apatosaurus ajax. That looks fantastic. Look how thick that neck is. Whole build looks great. The front limbs look fantastic. The back limbs look great. Get drought variation, then you get monsoon variation. And it looks like the female is a little bit, well, again, I don't really see much difference between the male and female, but this looks really good. These both look really good. Let's see how they look in game. Oh, it be rainy. Better fix that so we can actually look at these dudes. And here they are. I love Morrison Formation dinosaurs. So when they announced that these guys were coming in the game, I was very excited. Look at them. Oh, look at that mouth. It's got like almost a beak type thing going on, which I think has been proposed for a lot of different sauropods. Look at that. Yeah, their heads look really good. And yeah, I still don't really see much difference between the male and female variation. Unless I'm just colorblind or something like that, but I don't really see... I mean, other than the size, I think. I think one is smaller than the other. But regardless, these look really, really good. Oh. Did you see that? That was... Oh, it's so cool. I'm so happy about this. See what Nigel has to say.
The name Apatosaurus means deceptive lizard, and I can't think of a more fitting moniker for a dinosaur with such a complicated history. When the man who discovered Apatosaurus in 1877 shipped fossils to both Othniel Charles Marsh and Edward Drinker Cope, he inadvertently caused a chain reaction, leading to one of the craziest, most heated eras in fossil collecting history, the Bone Wars.
The Bone Wars is definitely an interesting point in paleontological history. A huge rivalry between Edward Drinker Cope and Othniel Charles Marsh, who were set out to... Oh, look at that. Look at that. It's like actually lying down, and well, I mean, that foot's going crazy, but the way it lies down is anatomically correct. Because, you know, a lot of times when you see giant animals lying down in video games and stuff like that, like sauropods, you'll often see them kind of like fold their back legs in, kind of like elephants, which, you know, that makes sense because elephants are big animals. But reptiles don't have the same type of flexibility in their vertebrae as mammals do. So reptiles like dinosaurs would not have the capabilities to do that, so they'd have to lie down like this with their legs going out and to the back like that. Aside from that little glitchy foot, it seems like they're doing pretty good at lying down. Yeah, Bone Wars, huge rivalry between those men. They were set out trying to get as many identify as many new dinosaurs as they could, or as many new creatures as they could against the other person. Like, they were trying to beat the other person. It was very petty. I recommend diving into it. Now, Brontosaurus. Brontosaurus is also the product of the Bone Wars. And I'm sure that many of you know the history of Brontosaurus. There's probably still some of you who think that it's no longer a real dinosaur. And that's because when it was first discovered, of course, it was found without its skull. And the incorrect skull was placed on it, known as a Camarasaurus. A Camarasaurus skull was placed on this head. And that's like only part of the thing. Later on, a lot of analysis was done on Brontosaurus's skeleton, and it was concluded that there were too many skeletal similarities between a Brontosaurus and a Apatosaurus to justify Brontosaurus being its own genus. So Brontosaurus was renamed to Apatosaurus excelsus rather than Brontosaurus excelsus. And that's the way it was for a long time until 2015, when a group of scientists re-evaluated the fossils, and they concluded that there are indeed enough skeletal differences between Apatosaurus and Brontosaurus to justify calling them separate. So nowadays, Brontosaurus, ever since 2015, existed as its own genus. Very cool. A little bit of a history lesson. Anyway, look how amazing this design is. Here's one element that I've seen with a lot of different like Brontosaurus depictions and stuff like that, but I've never actually gotten any confirmation from it. Are these kind of weird looking spikes that it has on the bottom of its throat? Reminds me of like a caterpillar on stilts, right? A caterpillar that just has the body of a dinosaur. I don't know where that came from, but it's so cool looking. Like, look at that. So interesting. On here, it's a nice way to differentiate a Brontosaurus from Apatosaurus. But yeah. Anyway, this also looks amazing. Got that nice thick neck. Feet look good. All four of the feet look good. Sounds are awesome. I love that rearing up animation. That is so cool. Look at that. That is iconic right there. And the colors on this in particular are really fantastic. Let's see what Nigel has to say.
That sound you're hearing isn't thunder. It's the earth-shaking stomp of a Brontosaurus. These dinosaurs have been shaking the big screen for over 100 years, starting with one of the first ever animated films, Gertie the Dinosaur. Gertie was never the best behaved dinosaur, so hopefully we won't have as much trouble trying to keep this Brontosaurus in line.
That is so cool, though. The tails also look fantastic. You'll notice how they're almost whip-like, the way they move around. It was often proposed that Brontosaurus and Apatosaurus and Diplodocus and all of them could actually crack their tails like whips, like actually break the sound barrier, similar to the way the whips do today. But there was a recent study that was done on that, and the conclusion of that was if they tried to do that, they would break their tails. So they couldn't do that. They could probably still use them for defense. They just couldn't break the sound barrier, you know? Still would do a lot of damage. These guys look incredible, though. Ooh, let's see them in the water. Ooh. I didn't make it deep enough for you to swim, but this still looks iconic. Look how cool that looks. These are all just fantastic additions to it. Now, this doesn't really look much like the Morse formation. Again, I just kind of like threw some together. Same with the Ankylosaurus enclosure. Not too much like Hell Creek formation, but this all looks, they all look really good. Look at that. Are you lying down anatomically correct? Looks like you are. Of course, I don't know what I expected, but no, these are all incredibly beautiful. I am very happy with the way that this all turned out. This game just keeps getting better and better, if you ask me. I love this game. I absolutely love this game, and I'm so stoked that we are getting as frequent of updates as we are, that, in my opinion, are pretty good quality. So, yeah, those are the newest additions to Prehistoric Kingdom. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like and a follow, and a comment, of course. You know, let's get to the discussion. Ooh, look at the teeth. The teeth look good. What's notable with sauropods is they had those weird-looking kind of like straight teeth that were just used to strip like leaves off of branches, and they would just swallow them whole. And a lot of sauropods would swallow these rocks called gastroliths to help grind up tough plant material. We're learning a lot today. But everything looks great. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and have an awesome day.